for the public hearing. Ms. Russell?
Okay, the first one is listed as item 2, related to the Sixth Amendment to the project plan and reinvestment zone financing plan for reinvestment zone number 2, Midtown Zone. And no one has appeared, reserved time.
Ms. Tillotson, go ahead.
Good morning, Mayor, members of City Council. During the August Budget and Fiscal Affairs Committee meeting, we presented a complete comprehensive plan for TIRZ-related activities to be brought before council in the next several months, in which we included maps of impacted areas, proposed projects, and the calculation percentage towards the TIRZ cap. We will conduct a series of public hearings at least 1 week before the item is placed on the council agenda. The hearings today represent the first in the series. On February 26, 2015, the Board of Directors of the Midtown TIRZ approved amendments to the TIRZ's project plan and reinvestment zone financing plan and forwarded them to the city for consideration. In accordance with sections 311-003 and 311-011 of the Texas Tax Code, a municipality must hold a public hearing with proposed amendments to a project plan include changes that increase the total estimated project cost stated in a project plan, reduces or enlarges the boundaries of a zone. The public hearing today is regarding the proposed Sixth Amendment to the Midtown TIRZ project plan and reinvestment zone financing plan. In brief, the administration requests that City Council approve a plan amendment for the zones, which will enlarge its boundary by approximately 88.42 acres to include certain museum district entities that have requested inclusion into the zone. We have received letters of support from the property owners, including the museum district, the Menil Collection, and the University of St. Thomas. The proposed expanded boundary will enhance Midtown Zone's economic development through its cultural and tourism district, as well as provide for utility and streetscape improvements along certain commercial corridors to enhance pedestrian access, mobility, and connectivity to cultural facilities. The amended plan also contemplates a life extension through 2040 to support the issuance of an 18.5 tax increment contract revenue refunding bonds, to support the refinancing of debt related to Midtown Park, build a proposed parking garage in the museum district, and to design and construct street projects in the proposed area. The project costs in the amended plan were increased by $99,764,745 to reflect the planned projects in the proposed boundary enlargement. In closing, city staff has worked with the museum, the Midtown Redevelopment Authority, community representatives, and council offices on the proposed Sixth Amended plan, and will bring forth a recommendation for City Council to approve the plan amendment on October 7th. There is no council action required today. Thank you.
Councilmember Boykin.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Tillotson. Thank you so much. I want to just say publicly, I want to thank Ms. Tillotson and Mr. David representing Andy Aiken's office on yesterday. We met with some of the stakeholders in the Museum Park area, the leaders of the Super Neighborhood as well as the Civic Association, Kathleen O'Reilly and Sean Murphy, and Baron Wallace, who is, I think, legal counsel for the TIRZ, was there as well. And what came out of that was some good dialogue and some good recommendations moving forward. As you know, the Museum Park neighborhood comprised of the residential part of the museum district, and the concerns that they had, I think we addressed some of them. Some others we will go further, have more dialogue in the future. Mainly are infrastructure issues and also representation on the board. And I just want to publicly thank you, Gwen, how you explained it. You and Steve did a great job making certain that at least it was clear about the process, and that was, I think, to be commended because before the meeting started, I think there was some uncertainty in terms of the process. So I want to publicly thank you. But for the record, for those watching, today is just a public hearing. We're not voting on the plan today.
That is correct.
Okay, so we have an opportunity to continue answering any of the questions the community may have. But from my understanding, they are in support of it. They just wanted to get a couple of questions answered, so I look forward to support it on the 7th, I think.
October 7th.
October 7th.
So we provided a copy of the project plan, the complete project plan, to give council an opportunity over the next 7 days to review thoroughly, and we'll be happy to address any questions if there are any. And the concerns or the questions that were raised yesterday in the meeting really just has to do with an issue of the stakeholders wanting to be engaged in part of the discussions as these projects are implemented, just to make sure that there is really smart coordination of these infrastructure projects. And the position of the TIRZ is that that is going to be a discussion that they will welcome. I think what was recommended is that the ULI livable center study be presented at the board for them to look at it as part of a larger master plan.
And you know, Gwen, I'm glad to hear you say that, because you're really good at your job, because you were real good at explaining, when they were talking about the impact of the livable study that they had to go through HGAC to get funding, you pulled it in. It was a fear that they felt like the study or the plan would have been placed on the shelf.
Right.
You pulled it in to let them know it would not be ignored. Excuse me, and I think from that meeting, again, that everybody walked out, maybe not on the same page at this point, but I think we're getting to the point where board appointment opportunities and infrastructure issues will be addressed, you know, in the next administration as we move forward. But I publicly want to thank you and Stephen for what y'all did and in terms of addressing or answering questions with the super neighborhood and the president representative.
Welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
No one signed up to speak on the reinvestment zone number 2, the Midtown zone. Is there anyone here who came and did not have an opportunity to sign up? Seeing no one, I'll like a motion to close this public hearing.
So, second.
Favoring, opposed, motion carries.